Hey everyone, welcome. Today we're talking about perfectionism, and I don't mean the healthy pursuit of excellence. I'm talking about the exhausting, never good enough kind of perfectionism that keeps you stuck, stressed, and constantly self-critical. If you've ever spent hours agonizing over something that should take minutes, or felt paralyzed because you're afraid you won't do something perfectly, or beaten yourself up for minor mistakes, this video is for you. Let's talk about what perfectionism really is, why it's so hard to let go of, and most importantly, how to start breaking free. First, let's be clear. Perfectionism isn't about having high standards. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do well or caring about quality. The difference is this. Healthy striving says, I want to do my best, and if I make mistakes, I'll learn from them. Perfectionism says, I must be flawless, and if I'm not, I'm worthless. Perfectionism is actually a defense mechanism. It's armor we wear to protect ourselves from judgment, criticism, rejection, and shame. We think, if I can just be perfect, then I'll be safe. Then I'll be worthy. Then people will accept me. But here's the trap. Perfection is impossible. So perfectionism sets us up for a constant experience of failure. We're always falling short of an impossible standard, which means we're always reinforcing the belief that we're not good enough. Perfectionism often shows up as procrastination. If you can't do it perfectly, why start? All or nothing thinking. It's either perfect or it's garbage difficulty finishing projects. They're never quite good enough. Harsh self-criticism, berating yourself for small mistakes, avoiding new challenges. What if you're not immediately great at it? Perfectionism promises us safety and acceptance, but what does it actually deliver? It delivers anxiety, constant worry about making mistakes, hypervigilance about what others might think, the exhausting mental load of trying to control every detail. It delivers procrastination and paralysis. When the standard is perfection, starting feels terrifying. So we delay, we overthink, we wait for the perfect conditions or the perfect plan, and often we never start at all. It delivers missed opportunities. How many projects have you abandoned? How many risks have you not taken? How many authentic connections have you avoided because you were too busy managing how you appeared? It delivers burnout. You can't sustain constant striving toward an impossible goal. Eventually, your body and mind say, enough. And perhaps most painfully, perfectionism delivers disconnection. When we're performing and perfecting, we're not being real. We're not being ourselves. And without being ourselves, we can't experience true belonging. You might think people love you for your accomplishments, but deep down, you feel lonely because they don't know the real you, the messy, imperfect you. Perfectionism usually develops early. Maybe you grew up in an environment where love felt conditional on achievement. Mistakes were criticized harshly. You learned that being good meant being perfect. You saw a parent model, perfectionistic patterns. Your worth was tied to performance, grades, sports, accomplishments. Or maybe you experienced instability or trauma, and perfectionism became a way to create a sense of control in an unpredictable world. The pattern made sense at some point. It helped you cope. It helped you feel safe or valued. But what once served you may now be limiting you. So how do we start breaking free? Here are 5 essential practices. 1. Recognize the pattern. Start noticing when perfectionism shows up. What are your triggers? Common ones include starting something new, being evaluated or watched, fear of disappointing someone, comparison to others. Notice your perfectionistic thoughts. This has to be perfect. I can't make any mistakes. Everyone will judge me if this isn't flawless. Good enough isn't good enough. Just naming it. Oh, there's my perfectionism. Creates some space. You're not the perfectionism. It's a pattern, and you can observe it. 2. Question the belief. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Usually, beneath perfectionism is a fear. Fear of judgment or criticism. Fear of rejection. Fear of being exposed as inadequate. Fear of not mattering. Once you identify the fear, you can ask, is this fear realistic? And even if the worst happened, could I handle it? Often you'll realize that you're catastrophizing. A small mistake won't actually lead to disaster, and even if someone judges you, you're resilient enough to handle it. 3. Practice good enough. This is the most important practice. Deliberately doing things at a good enough level instead of perfect. Start small. Pick a low-stakes task and intentionally do it well enough instead of perfectly. Send an email without rereading it 5 times. Post something on social media without agonizing over it. Turn in a project that's 80% instead of waiting to get it to 100%. Notice what happens. Usually, nothing catastrophic. The world doesn't end. People don't reject you. In fact, most people don't even notice the imperfections you were so worried about. Each time you practice good enough, you're retraining your brain. You're proving to yourself that your worth isn't tied to perfection. 4. Self-compassion over self-criticism. When you make a mistake, and you will because you're human, how do you talk to yourself? If you're a perfectionist, probably harshly. I'm so stupid. I should have known better. I can't believe I messed that up. What if you talk to yourself like you'd talk to a good friend who made the same mistake? Hey, that's okay. Everyone makes mistakes. You're learning. You'll handle it. Self-compassion isn't about lowering your standards. It's about treating yourself with kindness while you pursue your goals. Research shows that self-compassion actually makes us more motivated and resilient, not less. 5. Focus on process, not outcome. Perfectionism is outcome obsessed. Did I succeed? Did I look good? Did I avoid making mistakes? Shift your focus to the process. Am I learning? Am I showing up? Am I growing? Value effort, courage, and curiosity over flawless results. Ask yourself, what did I learn today? What did I try even though it was hard? How did I show up for myself? This shift transforms mistakes from failures into data, into feedback, into part of the learning process. Here's something to try this week. Pick one area where perfectionism is holding you back. Maybe it's a project you're avoiding or something you keep redoing endlessly, or a new skill you're afraid to try. Commit to the B- version. Not your best work. Deliberately aim for good enough. Notice what happens. How does it feel to let go of perfect? What do you learn? How do other people respond? What becomes possible when you're not paralyzed by perfectionism? Write down what you notice. Often you'll find that the thing you were so afraid of, judgment, failure, rejection, either doesn't happen, or it's much less catastrophic than you imagined. Breaking free from perfectionism isn't about becoming careless or lowering your standards. It's about realizing that your worth isn't determined by flawless performance. You are not your achievements. You are not your mistakes. You're a whole person, learning and growing, doing your best in an imperfect world. Done is better than perfect. Real is better than flawless. And you, messy, imperfect, beautifully human you, are already enough. If this resonates, please share it with someone who needs to hear this message. And if you're struggling with deep-rooted perfectionism, consider working with a therapist who can support you through this process. Take care of yourselves. And remember, progress, not perfection. See you next time. Next.